What we're going to look at here is how to use the Siemens IWare software application to access parameters on some Siemens 353 controllers plugged into an Ethernet network and connected to this computer. To start, I'm going to go to the Programs menu, the Siemens Prosidia menu, submenu, and then under IWare PC, there's an application called Prosidia IWare. I click on that, it comes up with a stock display screen. This comes from the factory like this, all ready to go. I can click on Controller up here and see the various controllers that are available on the network. So for example, let's say I want to look at the flow controller. I can click on this, and this goes to a configuration file here for the flow controller. I can also go to Overviews for the flow controller, and I see a simple graphic rendition of that controller. I can click on Groups for flow controller, and under Group I see a more detailed representation of the faceplate for that controller. This actually looks somewhat like the faceplate on the Siemens Model 353. I have a bar graph for set point, a bar graph for process variable, another bar graph for the output. I've got push buttons here, auto manual mode, display, acknowledging alarms, and then I also have, this is not exactly like the real controller, 3 separate digital displays for process variable, set point, and valve. I can switch, for example, from auto to manual mode and see this switch. And by the way, as I do this on the screen, the real Siemens 353 controller is also switching modes. I can go in here, for example, I'm in manual mode, I can click on the output and say I want a 50% output, so I can drive my valve to 50%. I can switch to automatic mode. I can take my set point and raise that to some value, in this case 15%. I can see in automatic mode now my integral action is winding up the valve as the PID control algorithm does its function. So it's a working controller, and everything I do right here is affecting the real physical controller mounted out there by the process. This is all happening through an OPC data exchange network. OPC is a standard based on Microsoft OLE technology for linking and sharing data between different hardware devices or between applications on a single computer. In this case, I'm using the data exchange format to send data back and forth between this personal computer and the 3 Siemens Model 353 controllers. One of the other features available on the stock screen for Prosidia, if you click on that, you get a detail display showing you various aspects of this one control loop. We have once again a rendition of the faceplate on that controller. We have a simple graph that will graph process variable, set point, and valve over time. We also have a number of parameters here that you can alter, including tuning parameters, alarm points, quick test values, set points, and etc. Things that normally you'd have to access through the physical faceplate of the controller by pushing menu buttons and going through a long, laborious procedure. Here, all these important values are laid out for you to access at once, simultaneously, to view and to access. For example, the gain, proportional gain, I can click on that and have a gain, let's say, of 1.5 instead of a gain of 1. And there you can see it changed. And of course, as I change it here, it's also changing in the real controller itself simultaneously. Go back to a gain of 1.0. And that's a quick overview of the basic factory stock screens for the Prosidia system.